Hey y'all. Hey y'all, cousin the fight. Got the Hebrew letters with me. They looking a little bit backwards. They in reversed order. Praise the Lord, Father in heaven. We got a lot going on here. We got 8%. I don't know. We might just roll with that 8%. We only got one thing in mind today in today's video. We're gonna be talking about my name. Something I don't usually do. Some of you know my name, most of you don't, and that's intentional. My name is not important, and it still ain't. But we're going to use it to learn Hebrew. Today's class is going to be in Hebrew, or should I call it Yahweh Ditta. And let me get the microphone right. Can't see your comments right now. Well, we can see all these letters. Now, we are working here at the Hillbilly Homestead Hebrew. Well, I don't want to call it Hebrew school, but Yahweh Ditta school. We are working to get back to the original pictographs of the letters, the original meaning, and the original way that they sound. And so that's what you're looking at here is the original pictograph. And like I said, they are as far back as I can get. And they are in reverse order. You have the Allah at the beginning, or I'm sorry, at the left-hand side, top left is the Allah, followed by the Bayita and the Gamala. Down in the bottom right, you have a Thawa. That's one of the letters that we still have yet to get right. You see it looks more like a cross. And so that's more of the modern version of it. The ancient version looked more like a plus sign where they were equal. The two lines were equal, and you can imagine why they would be equal. But anyway, in this video, we're talking about my name. We have three people liking, 4 people watching. One of them may not like my name. And that's fine, because in this video, we may explain why it is that they don't like my name. And we're going to be talking about 2 versions of my name. The shortened version, which some would say I've been going by for 30 years. And then the real version. The name is on my birth certificate, the name my mama gave me. My daddy's name, I'm a junior. My son's name, he's a third. That name. We're going to be breaking down both of them. And some other stuff, as you can hear. So let's go ahead and get to it. The first letter in my name, if I can zoom in, is this thing going to let me zoom in? Let's see, what do I got to do? First download it. First I probably got to screenshot it. Screenshot it. Now that I screenshot it, I believe I can open it in photos. Now, yep, I can do what I want. A little bit what I want. I can focus, move it around. All right, now the first letter in my name is the Kaf. For those of you who don't know what my name is, hopefully nobody spoiled it and wrote it down there. His name is a big red dog. Anyway, if they haven't, and if you ain't looked, we could play a game. Matter of fact, this might turn into a real game. The first letter in my name is the Kafa. It's a hand. It means capacity, capacitance, capability, stuff like that. Like you look at your palm of your hand and you can imagine giving, taking, you can imagine stuff like that. The next letter in my name is the lambda. Now you see both on the page there. You see let's play bouncing ball here. This is the lambda. This is the kapha. And for you guys who are new to the channel, this language that we're learning is called Yahweh Dita. You heard people call us Yehudis? Yehudis. Well, that's a Yiddish word of saying Yahweh Dita. But anyway, so the second letter is the lambda. It's the shape of a shepherd's crook. It means lesson, learning, stuff like that. So the first two letters are kla, ka, la, ka, la, kla, 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 ka, la. The next letter is kind of important, especially in your own understanding. Is it the yada or is it the ayana? It's spelled with an ayana, saying insight. So one of the things about my name and me, when you call me by that name, is you will recognize that I have insight. Or if you recognize that as a yada, you will recognize that I can help you with stuff. So, and that's one of the reasons why we have to return to the pure language. Get our names right, get our understanding right. Because you see me as a kalaya, which means you may say, hey, can you give me a hand with this? Or what's the calendar? How do you make a sundown? Hey, you know what Bible verse says, y'all? You know how to cast out spirits? Others will see as insight, and they will be asking similar questions. They might not be asking how to build a sundial. They may be trying to build support. That's Sama over there. But anyway, let's go on to the next letter, because what's interesting is you have the kala up here. You have a kalaya, which is kind of kalaya. Don't kind of go right. But down here you have the I, and the paha. Some think of that as pie hole, like that's your mouth, open mouth, pie hole, but it's paha. And so I have ayana paha, as in ka la a fa, ka la a fa, or ka la ya fa, ka la ya fa. Thing about my name is I have two of these fas in there. Fa is phonics, phonograph, stuff like that, speaking. And so you notice that I talk. Someone say I talk a lot. Well, it's because I have two fas in my name. And if you recognize me as, man, it don't matter if you did or not, I've been raised that way, being called Ka La Afa or Ka la ya fa. Fa. Ka. Let me see if I can say it right because there's two fas. Ka. Let me get this smaller. Ka la ya fa fa. That's a whole lot of talking about helping you do stuff like building a house, uh, Hebrew letters, like we're talking about right now, how to understand Hebrew letters. But now, if you say ka la I fa fa, then it's gonna be a talking about insightful stuff, like unlocking stuff, like um, you like seeing stuff. Now that's the first part of my name. Somebody should have guessed my name by now. Some know it already. You ain't guessing if you already know it. So I'm guessing. Kalai afa fa or kala ya fa fa. Kala ya fa fa comes off easier than kala afa fa. Kala afa fa doesn't come off so easy as kala ya fa fa. Kala ya fa fa kind of rolls off the tongue. But notice that fa fa is like, okay, do you really want me talking that much? Well, if you call me by that name, then that's what you're going to get. That's all you really going to get is talking about helping you with stuff or talking about a lesson in that and helping you. And, but that ain't what my mama named me. That's not what on my birth certificate. That ain't actually what I prefer to go by. I actually don't like that name. I don't think it is even my name. My daddy goes by that name. Like I said, I'm a junior. But I prefer the whole name. And the interesting part about the rest of the name is it starts with the Wawa. So there's a connection. So by truncating my name, you've lost the connection, the connectedness of my name, and even who I am. I learned back a long time ago, and I don't want to talk too much about me personally, but one of the things I did do when I was having all them babies was I looked at a name book, and I happened to look at my name. What was the difference between, let me see, let me look back so I can say it right. Kala Afafa or Kala Ya Fafa versus Kala Wa Ra. Yeah. First of all, it's connected to a head. So by truncating my name, you've taken away my leadership. You don't want me to be a leader. You've taken away my leadership capability if you convince me that is not my part of my name. The thing about it, when I start to reestablish that as part of my name, like I said, go back to the name that's on my birth certificate, the name that my mama named me, the name that my daddy named me, the same name that my daddy has, and his mama named him, and his granddaddy named him. Well, that's the first thing you'll have to come up with is that you're going to be connected from way up here to way down here. And the interesting thing is then after this leadership portion, or before this leadership portion, because you're supposed to start from the back or the end of the letters and work your way to the front to understand what it means. Before the leadership portion, there is the da, the door, the entry. And so that's why it's important to understand your name and maybe even go by your name, unless, of course, you don't like those elements of your name, certain elements of your name. But I like the fact that my name, and this is how you read Yahweh Ditta from the right to left. Some of you guys who are new still trying to figure out what is the name. Let's go ahead and pronounce it one time, at least. Ka la, ya, fa, fa, wa, ra, da. As we get down to our last percentages, like we said, we're on 8%. We're gonna let it run out. So if it goes blank, we ain't coming back. Love you guys. Hit the like button, leave a comment, all that stuff. If the battery power runs out, it's gonna be that on that. We actually are already finished. We just need to go check the comment section really. No, we may do the rest of the name, at least the last name, because that's important too. So one more time while we have the light, at least while I have the light out there. I don't know if you guys went dim or not, but we have, let's see, all of them on this side of the board. I'm going to pronounce it with the I this time. So it's ka, la, I, fa, wa, ra, da. Reminds me of that word Silverado. So if you trunk a name like that, it's just a silver. You're riding around in a silver instead of a Silverado, which is called Silverado. You don't truncate the names of cars. You don't call it a Bent. What you driving? I'm driving a Bent. It ain't a Bentley. It's a Bent. That's what I drive. I drive a Bent. I don't got no Bentley. I got a Bent. I'm driving around in a Lex. Who is Lex? Anyway. So you start from the back to the front. So the last letter in my name is the Da. At least the first name. That's the entry. As in we're going somewhere. Or somebody is. If you recognize me that way, you know that my name or me is going to be connected to something. I mean, entry, not connected to goodness necessarily, not connected to, or should I say giving, which is the Gamala, not connected to goodness, which is the Ta Wuba, not connected to support, which is the Sa Maka, which is in my last name, not necessarily connected to Kwa, or interest way to Kwa. But what is it an interest way to? Leadership. You know? And for you, those who know my name, get a big red dog. And so you have the doorway to leadership, a doorway to leadership. And that's the part when you call me by the truncated name, which I no longer go by. I'm offended by it, actually. Highly, 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 highly offended by it. I'm no longer going to allow anybody to call me that. Nobody ever. And if you understood, if I told you why, you would tighten your lip up and you would understand why. You would tell everybody else to hush. And you too would be offended that anybody would call me that. But anyway. So you have the door to leadership connected. That's what's important. The door to leadership is connected to what? Is it connected to giving? Is it connected to helping? No, it's connected to talking. Talking. That's why you're listening to me right now. But even after you stop listening, remember there's two of those pahas in there. So I'm gonna still be talking. Even after you didn't stop the video, I'm gonna go start talking to somebody else. What am I gonna be talking about? Well, it just depends on what day it is. Today we're building, so it's gonna be Aya. So I'm gonna be a Kalaya today. Hopefully, if those guys don't need much help or assistance, which is the Ya, then I may get back and start doing some more Bible classes, and then I will be a Kala'a today. I was thinking of doing some Keys of Enoch stuff to get back on track. Bling, bling, bling. So then if you understand all of that, without truncating my name, because if you truncate my name, all you're going to get is talking. You're going to turn off to this video and you go listen to somebody else. But if you can understand that part of my name, then you'll actually hear that door connected to the leadership. And then you will realize that it is either insightful or it's helpful. One of the two. You get to decide. As far as you're concerned, you get to decide. That's what's interesting. Like I said, we don't speak about reality. We control it. It's just that easy. But anyway. What you can't control is the Lamada in my name. Kala. You could do like my little brother did when we were younger and try to call me a Kuala. But that ain't gonna work. It's not a Kuala. It's a Kala. It means that not all Cliffords are holy, but we all are capable. So anyway, that's my name, Clifford. And I no longer go by Cliff. I am highly offended by it. I'll say again. Let's just say I lost something very valuable to me over those last 3 letters of my name. And like anytime you're willing to fight for something, once you got it, you keep it. So don't ever call me that again. Please. And I'll call you whatever you want me to call you. You can put that down in the comment section, whatever you want to be called. But anyway. Let's jump in the comment section. I'm gonna have to get to it. So that's why I say you think of the big red dog. He was a dog, which means why you had to have the I or the ya in there. He wasn't a human. He's the fa because the dog was talking. Dog kind of talked a lot. I think he was the star of the show. And so it was his job to talk. He was leading the other people around, the other pets and animals especially, but even a little girl. He kind of kept her out of trouble. He had a few capabilities too, didn't he? And it was full of lessons. Full of lessons. That was Clifford the Big Red Dog. Praise the Lord our Father. All right, so we live. We got the sound check going. See the dangly bop up there swinging around. Get him off of the thing. Again, these Hebrew letters, these Yahweh letters are in reverse order. Normally they would be backwards, and they're not all completely accurate. You see our Zana here? The Zana right here? It's one of the latest ones that we are working to that we have worked to get right. But anyway, looking in the comment section or reading the comment section, we got Leia says Shalawama. Glad to hear from you. We got Marilyn Diaz says Shalawama. Glad to see you there, Marilyn Diaz. She's gives some emojis, praying and love. She sends. Um, she sends blue love, which would be covenantal love, and she sends white love, which would be purity love. Like I'm gonna think of what is it? I can't think of the word. Where you got general love. What is it? Agape love. I think is it agape love? I don't know. I'm gonna have to redo the classes on that. Refresh my memory. We got Royal Princess of the Most High Yah says Shalawama coach and in the fight family. Shalawama Ahabaha. Wait. Ahabaha Awara. She was supposed to tell me what that means. Am I supposed to go look that up? Oh, but man, how? I can chat GPT it. You can tell me what it means to. Oh, I could. Let's see. Can I figure out what it means? We'll let it tell us. All them babies. Talk about my babies? Yeah. I think I was talking about the babies. Anyway, and there's more in the spirit world too, so we can't forget them. And Royal Prince of the Most High says peace, love, and light. All right, so now the only question is now do we talk about the other parts of my name now that we caught up in the comment section? Let me go check to see what they're doing outside. Y'all beware if the Wi-Fi dips in and out. It should. Dude, I thought I heard something. It was a package. Bunch of packages. Oh, they back. That's the rock I bar y'all hearing in the background. Kids wanted to hear that as they did work today. How's it going, sir? Going better. We have the first All right, say it now. We got 4 people. All right, say it now. We got 4 people looking for and 4 people liking.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, YouTube. That's it. You can't see the comments or anything. They're on the inside. I was just making around on the outside. In this video, we've been breaking down the name, my name, Clifford. Actually saying what's the significance of Clifford versus and why it's important to insist on their name. Like, for instance, you wouldn't want anybody calling you Key. All right, sorry about the Wi-Fi connection, guys. Let me get back around. Yeah. All right, so they could and did need some assistance. He was looking for a saw. So insight, I knew of how a saw that he could use and how to get it to him. So again, I guess it's up to you. Whether it's a kalayafa, fa, wa, rada, a kalai, fa, wa, ra, wada. Now, the thing about my last name is Smith. We can go through the whole thing, you know, you got support in there, you got insight in there, you got even some chaos in Smith, and that's important. You're getting some insight or some assistance with some chaos when you get to Smith. But what kind? It depends on if you call me Smith or Smith. If you call me Smith correctly, you're going to get covenantal insight. Insight with the covenant. It could be a good example. It could be a bad example. But it's going to be an example nonetheless. It's going to be an insightful example nonetheless. Not all Smiths are good. Not all Smiths are anything. It's just covenantal insight. Smiths are general, I guess one would say. The chaotic insight into the chaotic aspect of it. And you have support and all of that. So you have the support here. That's a post with lines going through it. You can imagine the lines continuing on. And that's why you have to live out the Bible. I just realized this the other day, or even yesterday, when I was thinking about planting peas and how they have to be staked and how you put a line. The only difference between this and what we did last year in practicality and actuality was that we used one line instead of using three, like hopefully we'll do this year, to stake the peas, the sweet peas. And so then you have the chaos part there. Then again, they have the insight or the assistance. But then the last part, is it going to be all about the covenant, or is it all again going to be about talking? So you can imagine somebody that calls me Cliff Smith, what they really expect or want out of me. Cliff Smith. Yeah, I'm scratching my head too. Why would anybody do that? Unless, of course, they wanted no information about the covenant, no assistance or direction in leadership. Just want to blow me off as somebody that talk too much. And so that's why I ain't going by that no more. You call me that to my face, I'm going to call you something that you don't like intentionally. And you hear the emotion in my voice, I promise you, you're going to experience more. I'm going to hurt you. Just like you're going to hurt me when you call me by that name again. I done lost loved ones over it. Family members over it. But you know what? Somehow, I believe it was my responsibility to share insight related to the covenant and direction and leadership. And so, since I'm out here trying to recognize my duty in this earth, I believe I'm going to have to do so first by recognizing my name in the original pure language. And I thank you guys for sharing this moment with me. May our Father bless you and keep you. May He find you and shine His light upon you. May He be gracious unto you. May He bring goodness, peace to your home. In Yahweh Shawana's name, I pray. Amen. So be it. Love you guys.